still not working on the Specialized because Mike's really trying to get bikes out of here, and this person's supposed to come like any minute. So he's like, find another one. So the one that I kind of combed through in this one, this little Schwinn here. So it looks like at some point, maybe this was part of the bike swap. This is an old price tag. You can see it's really old because there's no wording on it anymore. Clearly there's a seat issue here, but it seems to be in decent enough shape. So I'm gonna yank it out of here and see how quickly I can get this on the road. Pull this out. Easy reflector in the front wheel, this rear brake, just a little bit too much here. Fix that. Gonna put a seat on it. Check the gears shifting.
5'9" plus or minus 1.
We're gonna get this ready quick. This is dead, so it doesn't make sense to keep it on here. And they can add a light if they want. I will put a reflector just on this front wheel. It does have a reflector already on the back. It's got a handy kind of a rack. I'm gonna put the seat on here right now. So, old-timey clamp, but this will work fine. Notice that these little seat rails will just pinch for this part of the clamp. I'm sure these have a special name, I don't know what they are. So this goes toward the back of the bike, so I have it oriented properly. So the whole thing just kind of squeezes together. Something like that. Let's try to keep it level. The way this sits on here isn't ideal, but I believe it's going to work. We'll know momentarily. Jeez, it's hard to get the wrench in here. It's getting better. Just eyeballing it. Trying to keep it about as level as I can make it. And again, the rider, this is a very personal thing, right? I'm sure you've seen bikes with the seats jacked way up to a weird angle. At least weird angle to me, but maybe you're like, hey, that's the perfect angle, so. That's not bad though. This is a suspension post, so it's gonna have a little bit of play in it no matter what you do, but that's not to worry about. More like, can the seat stay on the bike? I think the answer is yeah. So off camera, I did already like waggle these things around to put air in the tires. And I just came in here and tested the bottom bracket. Shake back and forth, that feels good. I've never tried to shift this thing. shifts pretty good. I'm not getting the very top gear here. So this biggest chain ring, not able to get that. So I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of one step. Adjust this brake a little bit. One step. I'm gonna just get up in there, see if I can get this thing to act a little nicer. I can feel there's some hesitation in there. So there, and then also there's usually a little bit of a gap back there as well. Now at this point, I'm just gonna start pedaling and see if I can't just break it up. And yeah, sometimes the stuff is just like magic. Better, but not where I want it. I got to adjust this rear brake too, which we're going to handle. But I think we need a little more. A little handy access port here where it's broken. It's barely on my mat, so I'm just reaching down here and cleaning a little bit. There's different ways to go about this, but what I want to do is engage these. So one possibility is that I could take this barrel adjuster and just turn it way, way out. I'm actually not going to do that. As you can see, I've got this strap here. This is an old toe clip. So I'm taking this, and I'm gonna just really crank this down as if I'm applying the brakes. Just messing with these. So screw them in, let's push it out this way. It's hitting pretty well now. It's not perfect, but it's doing pretty well. What I am noticing though is when I activate this lever, it's coming down pretty close to the bar, right? Again, I've turned that barrel adjuster all the way in for that reason that I want to come out here and take care of that. So another 5mm. It's going to come in here, loosen this bolt. Harder with the rack, but just pulling on this cable a little bit. Dropping the wrench. Try to get the angle too. And then tightening this down. I'll check the action up at the front. Little tight. Sometimes it'll just seat a little bit. Oh, that feels pretty good now. Just a little more, so make sure it's really in there. Still just not quite seated right. I think it might have something to do with just how these things are interacting with the frame. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna work. It's not hanging up at all. Like it wheel spins freely, stops well. I think this may be about as good as it's gonna get. Checking the front side, and if you look here, what I want to see is that each side, when I'm pulling on these, they pull equally. That feels pretty good. This side here could be a little more out. I'm just going to turn this out a little bit. Add a way in, so I can also adjust this down here if I want to. Feels good though. You know, really pulling hard, they're still not contacting the grips, which is what I'm looking for. Spins nice, stops, a little bit of that movement afterward, which again is what I like. Calling this a quick and dirty. Literally quick and dirty. So this is not what I would do for sure if I were selling it, and I don't even like how quickly I'm rushing through this, but really trying to get this bike to somebody who can use a bike today in very short order. So that's the reason for the rush. But having said that, it's shifting well, it's stopping well, it just needs a test ride, and that one reflector on the front. This is not going to be a perfect match because honestly, this is a little weird. So I found one that's pretty close in levels of weirdness. I don't know. I'll give this wheel a little bit of a clean before I let it go, but I do my reflectors. I'm going to put it opposite the valve stem. So it's going to go up in here like this. And can you see there's like this little notch there? So that's going to go around a reflector. Just trying to work it out with these widely spaced spokes. So there's probably going to be like only one possible way that this is going to go. Maybe that way. I don't know. Yeah, it's gotta be, right? It's gotta be in here. Yeah, not loving this. I think that's how it's gonna be, how it is. So the way this works on this is that normally it's kind of push it to the edge and that would lock it, but not with this kind of spoke. So I've got like multiple reflector keepers here. Of course it fell off the moment I let go. This little guy. Just kind of goes in the hole. And then, I don't know, let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. There. You just take it in like this and it's the flat edge. You'll hear it lock in, feel it lock in. And then these other ones, I think for this kind of design, it seems like it's superfluous, but I don't think so. So the way these work is they're just kind of like a little clamshell, and you can see this pin, and it's going to go right around the end of the reflector, and then just kind of clamps it. And then just a little screw here, and I'm just kind of throwing it through. Of course, one of them is a flat edge that you need, and one of them's Phillips head. Still waiting for it to take a bite. So far it hasn't. Still hasn't, clearly. I'm gonna try going the other direction just for the heck of it, see if it likes me better from this way. I don't think it does, but I'm gonna try. Oh, I feel the bite. Yeah, okay. That's gonna stay on. Let's do the other one. So same thing, I'm gonna take this fatter end and point it toward me. Take the thinner end and point it toward you. Ish. You-ish. Way more complicated than it needs to be. You can see why they don't use these anymore, right? Because it's taken me 10 minutes to put a reflector on in a proper shop. I think these things would probably be just tossed into the bin. But on the other hand, my guess is this will never come off. At least not without intention. Yeah, that sits really, really on there. Sits on there really well. Okay, good. Just give it just a teeny bit of clean, not much. At least get the spider webs off, right? My phone died, so this is my helmet cam, which I have in my hand for a moment, but this thing's pretty much done. I am satisfied, not extremely satisfied, but like I'm in the good enough, like safe ride, adjusted well. Don't know if it's shifting yet. Okay, let's try. One thing I noticed right away is it's got sort of a spongy feel. It's the suspension. It's shifting okay. Maybe a little laggy right there. Can you hear that? I'm gonna adjust that. So on this shifter, you can see that there's no barrel adjuster on the front one that's busted. There's an adjuster. On this back one, it's down here. So I'm gonna take this and just turn it out a little bit. Just see if that does what I want it to do. little bit of a squeak right there. You have to deal with that. Just see if we're gonna get some cooperation out of this guy. Always better to try this under load. So that time, as I downshifted, didn't go into gear. So here, there should be a click that corresponds to the click on the shifter. So I'm gonna turn this in a bit and see if I can get that to work. Oh, there it is. So now see about up. Going all the way up and down. Yeah, so this is a tourney, which is like, there's one lower group set. The tourney is the lowest one that's labeled. So it is working. Like, it's gonna be okay. I feel sad for Schwinn, how the brand has so far fallen. I'm gonna turn this in just a little bit more. Try again. That clunk you heard was just when I had shifted up here, but then down below after I turned the adjuster. It's like a late shift. Ooh, it's tight. I think it could be maybe even a little crisper. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, okay. This is as good as she's gonna get, which isn't too bad. So shifts and stops. So I realized that the seat clamp was on the wrong way. So that's what I get for rushing it. So this is going to sit on the bike like this. I had it spun the other direction. And I don't use these enough, clearly. But I'm going to just tighten it down with my fingers. And it's actually working the other way, but I think it's going to just sit better and look better. Yeah, that's better. It's going to fit better on the bike. Here we go. What did we do today with this mighty Schwinn Shimano equipped tourney hydroformed? Best name is that? Are those flames? I can't tell what that is. So again, this has a ticket on it from a bike swap from years ago. It's been sitting a long time, but it looks like it was decently maintained. Not as clean as I would like, but got a new seat for it. Got both shifters working well. They're adjusted. Got the brakes activated. Everything is lubed. And heck, we even tightened up the mirror. So I think this bike is ready for a new home.